Shonen Fury is a fighting-based card game that I've been working on that takes the action and style of traditional fighting games with the card game strategy of MagicTheGathering and Flesh&Blood. Now before we start, just a heads up that Shonen Fury is still in development and still subject to change. So the main goal of Shonen Fury is to reduce your opponent's health from 50 to 0. Both players start with a pre-made deck of 60 game cards, 3 transformation cards, 1 hype meter and counter, some counting dice, and something to count a player's life total with, something like a calculator. There are currently 5 unique types of cards in Shonen Fury. These are transformation cards, charge cards, attack cards, defense cards, and ability cards. Transformation cards are the main way to increase a player's action points. These action points indicate how many attack cards can be played in a single turn. Action points are located at the bottom of the transformation card. Transformation cards also give semi-permanent abilities that a player can use anytime on their turn. Players start out with their stage 1 transformation card flipped face up and can choose to flip the other transformation cards when they have 6 hype. Charge cards are used to gain Shonen Fury's main resource called hype. Hype can be used to transform and use other cards' abilities. Attack cards are the main way to deal damage to your opponent. Each attack card has specific action cost as indicated by the top right of the card. You can play as many attack cards as you want as long as the action costs for all the attack cards don't exceed the max action points shown on your highest flip transformation card. When you play multiple attack cards together in a single turn, this is called a combo. Attack cards are split up into 2 main categories: rush attacks and key attacks. Rush attacks are hard-hitting martial arts moves that can be played without any requirements other than action cost. Rush attacks also typically gain bonuses when comboed with other attacks. Key attacks are powerful energy blasts that deal more damage than your standard rush attack, however they often require hype to play. Key attacks come in many different types and often do more than just deal damage, such as removing your opponent's defenses and removing cards from their hand. Defense cards are the main way to reduce damage dealt to and can be played for no action cost. Defense cards are split up into 3 main categories: shields, blocks, and dodges. Shield cards are defense cards that reduce incoming damage by a set amount. They stay in a player's active zone until they block the amount of damage as indicated on the card. Shield cards are played during a player's turn and can be discarded at any time during that same player's turn. Like shield cards, block cards also reduce incoming damage by a set amount. However, they are played when an opponent plays an attack card. The main difference between shields and blocks are block cards get discarded after being played against an attack card, even if there's still block remaining on the card. Unlike shields or blocks, dodge cards allow you to completely negate an attack card. The side benefit of negating an attack card is it can disrupt the combo. Dodge cards often have restrictions on what type of cards you can dodge, such as cards with an action cost of 2 or less, or they require hype to use. Like block cards, they can only be played when an opponent plays an attack card. Ability cards can perform a wide array of tasks. Some add additional damage to attack cards, while others also help players draw more cards. The ability cards are split up into 2 main categories: instant abilities and active abilities. Instant abilities are single-use cards that have a one-time effect before they are put inside your discard pile. Active abilities are ability cards that stay in a user's active zone after the card is played. There are 2 ways a player can win the game. 1, their opponent's health reaches 0, or 2, their opponent needs to draw a card but have no cards in their deck. To set up, both players start at 50 health, set their health meter to 0, and flip the transformation cards face down except for the stage 1 transformation card, which stays face up all game. Then both players shuffle their decks and draw 6 cards. If a player isn't happy with the cards they drew, they may reshuffle any number of cards from the hand back into the deck, then draw the same amount of cards they reshuffled. Lastly, both players shake hands and now they're both ready for battle. To see who goes first, both players roll a dice. Whoever has the highest score can choose who goes first. However, both players before they roll can discard any number of charge cards from their hand to gain an additional point for every card they discarded. For example, player A sacrifices 2 charge cards and rolls a 5. Player B does not sacrifice any cards and rolls a 6. The additional 2 points player A receives from sacrificing their charge cards brings the dice roll to a 7 and can now decide who goes first. All turns follow in the same 4 phases: beginning, main, action, and end. Beginning phase. If you have any effects or cards that activate at the start of your turn, carry out those effects and cards now. Draw from your deck until you have 6 cards in your hand. If you have more than 6, then draw only 1. Lastly, gain 1 hype. You can still play a charge card during your main phase. Main phase. You can now play any non-attack cards, like charge cards, abilities, etc. from your hand and or use effects from your transformation cards. This can be done in any order. You can only play 1 charge card per turn. You can only have 1 shield card active at a time, but you can discard an active shield card and replace it with another. You can play as many ability cards as you have. You can consume 6 hype to go up a transformation, but you cannot go down a transformation unless the card specifically says you can do so. You can also use transformation card effects as many times as you want, unless the card states otherwise. Action phase. You may play an individual attack card or play multiple at once in a combo. You can play as many attack cards in a turn as long as the action cost for all the attack cards don't exceed the max action shown on the highest transformation card you have activated. For example, if you have a total of 6 max actions, you can play 3 cards with an action cost of 2, or you can play 1 card with an action cost of 4 and another with an action cost of 2. End phase. If you have any cards that get discarded at the end of your turn, like ability cards, then they get discarded now. Then your turn ends. Actions out of a turn. The only actions a player can do out of their turn is blocking and dodging. When an opponent plays an attack card, a player can use 1 defense card per attack card to defend themselves. Most cards can be enhanced. These cards have the word enhance written in its text box. Enhancing a card often requires the user to reduce a resource, like hype or health, to enhance the card's effect, like blocking more damage or drawing more cards. You can only enhance a card when you play it. If a card has already been played, like a shield card, you cannot enhance it. Sometimes when playing a charge card, players might be given more hype than there is room for in the hype meter. In this case, players can go up a transformation and set the hype to 0. Then the remaining hype from the played charge card can fill the hype meter again. Alternatively, players don't have to transform, however they lose the remaining hype. Sometimes players will play an attack card that is unblockable against a shield card. In this situation, the shield card does block the damage from the attack card. However, the defender cannot play a block card or a dodge card. As a general rule of thumb, whenever a card is played first, attack card, defense card, etc. has priority. A player can still continue to play if they have 0 cards in their deck. However, if they have 0 cards in their deck and they need to draw a card, then they lose. Losing this way is called a deck out. If both players win at the same time, sudden death is called. Both players set their health at 15, both players shuffle a discard pile into their deck, and then draw until they both have 6 cards in their hand. Both players stay at their current transformation level and hype level, then continue the game. Repeat until a player wins. There is another way a player can lose other than a deck out and losing their health. If a player goes for 3 turns without playing an attack card, unfortunately they lose. And that's how you play Shonen Fury. Now, this video applies to both the regular Shonen Fury and the Shonen Fury Cross Dragon Ball Super version. The regular Shonen Fury is a little bit outdated compared to the Dragon Ball variant, but the changes are quite minor. The links to both games are in the description down below. So thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. Hit like if you liked the video, hit dislike if you disliked it, and I hope you enjoy the game.